this story about the founder of Patagonia. This is a page, this is an Instagram page, nonprofit. Shitlibs love it. I follow it too. They do have some good information sometimes, but very shitlib friendly organization. I saw this exclusive Yvonne Chouinard, I think that's how you spell it, Chouinard, who founded the outdoor apparel maker Patagonia and became a reluctant billionaire with his unconventional spin on capitalism, has given away the company. All Patagonia's profit will now be used to fight climate change. Hell yeah. The Succession screenshot is killing me. Oh my god, I hope he redistributes the money to environmental justice organizations like y'all. That is fantastic. This is really putting your money where your mouth is. In a move with no precedent in the business world, Chouinard, along with his family, have forfeited all their shares in Patagonia, a company valued at about $3 billion, renouncing their status as one of the wealthiest families in the US. Hopefully, this will influence a new form of capitalism that doesn't end up with a few rich people and a bunch of poor people, Yvonne told me. We are going to give away the maximum amount of money to people who are actively working on saving this planet. Now, again, like I started saying at the beginning of the stream when I talked about what I was going to talk about, I have nothing against Patagonia. They make great clothes. From what I see, they pay the factories and everyone that sources the resources to make the clothes a fair wage compared to Western standards. But it just seems very odd that a billionaire, a guy, let's start here. This guy founds a company called Patagonia and becomes a billionaire. There's another billionaire I know who founded a company of a place in South America. His name's Jeff Bezos, and he founded Amazon. I just find that's kind of strange. Strange coincidence, nothing conspiratorial about it, but it just is a strange coincidence that two people, two capitalists, fund companies, both called something, a place in South America. Besides the point, it just seems weird to be giving away your fortune. So let's go here. So this is the Zero Waste Chef. But we have people like praising him. And notice what he says. Notice his quote. Hopefully this will influence a new form of capitalism. A new form of capitalism, he says. So we have like this lady, other people in like the Sunrise Movement sphere, kind of praising this guy, this literal billionaire, Yvonne. He's worth $1.2 billion as of 9/14 of this year. So as of yesterday, he's worth $1.2 billion. Patagonia. is worth $3 billion. Yvonne, founder of the outdoor clothing gear retailer Patagonia, gave all the stock in the company to a trust and a nonprofit in September. Chouinard spelled out the ownership transfer in an open letter on Patagonia's website. The nonprofit Holdfast is dedicated to fighting environmental crises, defending nature. His apparel business took off in the 1970s when he imported rugby shirts from England and sold them to climbers. Since 1985, Patagonia set aside 1% of sales to finance grassroots environmental groups in the US and abroad. Revenue hit $800 million in 2017. In May, launched. Okay. Self-made millionaire, 83 years old, residing in Ventura. Do you know that Patagonia ran a full-page ad in the New York Times encouraging customers not to buy its products? So, like, as a business, you know, as a business, this sounds all cool, but in reality, okay, let's look a little bit more. It's not a sale or IPO. In reality, what I'm trying to say is that the owner of Patagonia is saying, I'm gonna give away all the shares. I own most of the shares of Patagonia, making me a billionaire. So I'm gonna donate all those shares that make me a billionaire to a nonprofit that I create and a trust that manages that money, which to me is tax evasion. So this guy is a capitalist. Nobody becomes a billionaire without exploiting somebody or something. In this case, in my opinion, I am no tax expert, but he created a nonprofit and a trust to transfer his wealth into these places so he doesn't have to pay taxes. That's what I get out of this move. Now, the shitlobes, the Sunrise Movement type people, Business Insider, the professional working class that can afford Patagonia, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I have Patagonia. Most of my Patagonia stuff has been bought secondhand. You know, there's some things I've gotten that aren't secondhand. As Patagonia has become a more popular brand, its quality has gone down on a lot of things. But there are some things that I've purchased new because I know that I'm going to wear them consistently. And I justify the price because I wear things. If I open that closet, I'm not going to open them right now. But if I open that closet, half of that closet isn't full of stuff. I wear the same like 20 t-shirts every single day. I have like 3 pairs of pants that I rotate. I have like 2 shorts that I rotate. I don't own a lot of clothing. I have like 1 Patagonia vest, 1 jacket. I do wear Patagonia, but anyways, it's not about the brand. This whole thing isn't about the clothing and the quality of the product there. I agree, they have great stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that Homeboy talks about a new type of capitalism. Okay, let's read the details. Then we'll go to the Patagonia website. Okay, let's go. What does this say? The title of this website here, Reimagining Capitalism. Earth now is our only shareholder. If we have any hope of a thriving planet, much less a business, it is going to take all of us doing what we do, doing what we can with the resources we have. This is what we can do. So this is his letter. I never wanted to be a businessman. I started as a craftsman making climbing gear for my friends and myself, then got into apparel. As we began to witness the extent of global warming and ecological destruction and our own contribution to it, Patagonia committed to using our company to change the way business was done. If we could do the right thing while making enough to pay the bills, we can influence customers and other businesses. Well, this guy's worth $1 billion, so Patagonia is a $3 billion company, so I think they've done it pretty well. We can influence customers and other businesses and maybe change the system along the way. We started with our products using materials that cause less harm to the environment. We gave away 1% of sales each year. We became a certified B Corporation and a California Benefit Corporation. If you look into these things, I mean, anyone can be a B Corp. You have to donate 1% of your sales to a nonprofit, and it can be your own nonprofit if you want to. So these are kind of like scam buzzwordy things. It's capitalism, it's greenwashing capitalism, these things. Writing our values into a corporate charter so they would be preserved. Recently, in 2018, we changed the company's purpose to "We're in business to save our own planet." I think that's called socialism, buddy. While we're doing our best to address the environmental crisis, that's not enough. We need to find a way to put more money into fighting the crisis, like keeping the company's values intact. One opinion was to sell Patagonia and donate all that money. I wasn't going to do that because I would have gotten taxed for that. We wouldn't be sure a new owner would maintain our values or keep our team of people around the world employed. Another path was to take the company public. What a disaster that would have been. Even public companies with good intentions are under too much pressure to create short-term gain at the expense of long-term viability and responsibility. Truth be told, there were no good options available, so we created our own. Instead of going public, you can say we're going purpose. Instead of extracting value from nature and transferring it into wealth for investors, we'll use the wealth Patagonia creates to protect the source of all wealth. Here's how it works. 100% of the company's voting stock transfers to the Patagonia Purpose Trust, created to protect the company's values, and 100% of the non-voting stock had been given to the Holdfast Collective, a nonprofit dedicated to fighting the environmental crisis and defending nature. The funding will come from Patagonia. Each year, the money we make after reinvesting in the business will be distributed as a dividend to help fight the crisis. It's been nearly 50 years since we began our experiment in responsible business, and we are just getting started. If we have any hope of a thriving planet, much less a thriving business 50 years from now, it's going to take all of us doing what we can with the resources we have. This is another way we found to do our part. Despite its immensity, the Earth's resources are not infinite, and it's clear we're exceeded its limits. But it's so resilient. We can save our planet if we commit to doing it. So here's some of the Patagonia's new owners are the Holdfast Collective and the Patagonia Purpose Trust. The Holdfast Collective owns 98% of the company and all of its non-voting stock. The Patagonia Purpose Trust owns 2% of the company and all of the voting stock. Non-voting stock carries economic value, but not decision-making authority. The voting stock has both economic value and decision-making authority. Holdfast Collective for short, will use every dollar received to fight the environmental crisis, protect nature and biodiversity, and support thriving communities as quickly as possible. As a 401c4, not for profit organization, the collective can advocate for causes and political candidates in addition to making grants and investments in our planet. So I think 501c4 is the same thing that the People's Party is like registered underneath, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, we can give our money to whoever we want. Funding for the collective will come from Patagonia. Each year, excess profits, money we make after we invest into the business, including money we want to save for unseen events like a pandemic, will be distributed as a dividend to the collective to be used for its work. So basically, Patagonia, this is what I get out of this so far. Let's explain what the Patagonia Trust is. The Patagonia Purpose Trust was created solely to protect our company's values and mission. It owns all of the voting stock of the company, which gives it the right to approve key company decisions like who sits on the board of directors and what changes can be made to the company's legal charter, including its reason for being and B Corp commitments. Put another way, Patagonia's purpose is we're in business to save our own planet. The Patagonia Purpose Trust ensures the company's commitment to its purpose forever. Does this? No. Patagonia continues for-profit business as certified B Corp and California Benefit Corporation, making the best quality products and honoring its obligation to preserve the financial health of the company while always considering the impact our business has on its employees, blah, 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 blah. Who runs? Okay, so yes. So the family is responsible for the business still. Will Patagonia just max out sales so it can give away more money each year? No, this is not an excuse to ignore the real intention. The real tension we'll continue to face between growth and the environmental impact of our operations, but the new ownership structure provides a way to put the value that comes with responsible growth to work fighting the climate crisis. Patagonia is 50 years into an experiment and plans to stay in business operating profitably in line with our values for the next 50 years and beyond. So basically what I get out of this is a tax evasion scheme. Just think about this. All the shitlibs are saying, "Oh my God, he's donating his money to fund nonprofits." It tells you right here on the website. That Patagonia is only going to be investing its excess profits into this nonprofit that they make. Reinvest in the business, including money like in quotations here or in parentheses, including money we want to save for unseen events like a pandemic. So basically what this is telling me is that we're going to continue to be a for-profit business, but technically a nonprofit owns the company. So we can't get taxed for that. We don't have to pay taxes. and we're only going to invest what we say we want to a nonprofit instead of paying the taxes that they would need to pay for being the corporate taxes they would need to pay of just like continuing to be the business that they are. They already donate 1% of its profits. Basically, instead of donating 1% of our sales, like it says under our B Corp, charter, we're gonna throw a couple bones into our own nonprofit. We'll decide what those bones are, and we won't have to be taxed on any of this. So we can continue to grow the company's value. We'll only have to pay our nonprofit that owns the company whatever we say, whatever the operation, the CEO of Patagonia says that we can throw in there. So 1% of sales plus any bones. The family owns all of the voting stock. They can say, we don't want to do that anymore. We want to donate all of the bones to Joe Biden's campaign this year, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's tax evasion, guys. That's it. That's what, obviously we need to like see what happens over the next year. You know, we should look at this Holdfast Collective and the Patagonia Trust and, you know, see what's really going on. But in my mind, Patagonia is trying to evade taxes, paying taxes. And I just find it super interesting for unseen events like a pandemic. Let's say that there is a global recession that occurs over the next year, over the next several years. The Patagonia says, actually, you want to save all of our profits, then they're not going to donate anything, and they don't have to pay taxes because they are a nonprofit themselves. They're owned by a nonprofit. So hopefully you can tell anyone who's like very excited about this that Patagonia is trying to evade taxes. A $3 billion company is trying to avoid taxes, but is being sold as they're doing a really great thing by donating to nonprofits, a nonprofit that they own that could redonate money to other nonprofits that they choose, or political candidates. Gives away company. He gives away the company to his own nonprofit.